I just got completely banned by DraftKings in under a week, and what I'm about to show you is exactly why 99% of sports bettors will never make consistent profits from these books. Look, I've been sports betting for years, and I've made over $85,000 using strategies like arbitrage and positive EV betting. But here's what nobody wants to tell you in the sports betting space. These books, they don't want you to win. Period. And I'm about to expose the exact playbook that they use to identify winning sports bettors and shut them down faster than you can say closing line value. I'm going to walk you through my actual account limitations, show you the warning signs and what they look for, and most importantly, reveal the strategies that sharp bettors use to fly under the radar and keep the money flowing. Because if you're serious about beating these books long term, you need to understand the game within the game. And trust me, after watching this video, you'll never look at sports betting the same way again. But first, if you want the real strategies that actually work, smash that subscribe button. I'm dropping the knowledge that these books don't want you to have completely free every single week. All right, let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to pull up my DraftKings, Caesars, and BetMGM accounts, try to place a $100 wager so that you can see these limitations with your own eyes. Over here on DraftKings, I'm looking at the Diamondbacks-Padres game. First pitch is in about 100 minutes. I'm looking at Eduardo Rodriguez over 4.5 strikeouts at plus 100 odds. I go ahead and try to place a $100 wager, and as you can see, the max bet that I can place over at DraftKings is $24.99. My staked amount is too high. Over here on Caesars, I'm logged in and I'm looking at the Rangers-Angels game, and maybe I want to bet on Mike Trout over 1.5 total bases at minus 109 odds. Again, I go to place a $100 wager, and as you can see, my stake exceeds the market's maximum. Please lower the stake and try again. Over here on BetMGM, I'm looking at the Braves and the A's. I want to bet the over on Spencer Strider, 7.5 strikeouts. Once again, I try to place a $100 wager, and you're going to find out that MGM is only going to let me bet $14.67. Now, the very first red flag that gets you on their radar, it happens before you even place your second bet. It's how you handle their welcome bonus. If you hedge that welcome bonus, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean because OddsJam has a dedicated promo converter where you're going to basically announce to the sportsbook, hey, look, I know exactly what I'm doing here on my initial wager with Caesars. We're going to hedge our bet. We're going to place a $1,000 first wager on an underdog. Then we're going to go ahead and hedge this bet on a favorite. And the goal is that we hope the bet loses on Caesars. That way we transfer the money from one book to another, but we receive a risk-free bonus bet to start. This isn't 2019 anymore. These sports books know the most optimal way for you to convert these bonus bets into guaranteed profit. And it's what they use to identify and try to figure out if you're a sharp or casual sports bettor right from the first bet that you place. But here's where it gets really interesting. Let's say you get past that first hurdle. You handle that welcome bonus like a casual bettor. What happens next is even more crucial. The moment that you start using a software like OddsJam or Unabated or any sharp arbitrage tool, you're literally creating a digital fingerprint for the sportsbooks that screams sharp better. And there's a trader sitting at that sportsbook, a real person whose job is to monitor your betting activity. They're tracking everything. What time are you placing your bets? Are you receiving closing line value? What markets are you attacking? Are you betting obscure player props for the WNBA at 8 a.m. in the morning when the game doesn't start until 8 p.m. that night? Or are you hitting the same type of lines that the software is flagging as mispriced? But if you're using a software and betting Mexican team total corners on a game that doesn't start for another day and a half, or maybe on rugby Australian soccer on a first half point spread, or you're betting on Japanese baseball in a game that takes place on Saturday morning. This isn't normal behavior. You're taking advantage of mispriced lines, and this is a clear indicator to these books that you're using some type of software or that you're just extremely sharp. Here's the thing. Casual bettors have patterns. They place bets on games that are about to start 30 minutes or less before first pitch or before opening kickoff. They also love to create a lot of parlays. They also love to bet overs, and they also love to bet on their favorite teams. The sportsbooks give you about 30 days, sometimes less, to prove to them what type of bettor you are. They're literally trying to place you into some type of bucket, recreational, sharp, or somewhere in between. And if you're hitting closing line value on 70% of your bets, and you're only placing bets when you have the best number, if you're attacking markets that the algorithms are flagging as mispriced, congratulations, you just earned yourself a one-way ticket to Limitation City. This is why some people get limited in a few days or a few weeks while others last a few months. It's not luck, it's about how quickly you reveal your hand to the trader working at that sportsbook that's watching your every single move. Now here's where I need to get brutally honest with you, because this has been bothering me for a while. You see all these Twitter accounts posting how they've made 50,000, 80,000, even six-figure profits from sports betting, and you think to yourself, man, if they can do it, why can't I? But here's the reality that nobody wants to talk about. Every single one of those accounts is using multiple people. Multiple accounts are what's commonly referred to as multi-accounting, and I'm no different. P2s, P3s, P4s. Because look at what just happened to me. I'm limited to $25 on a player prop over at DraftKings. You think someone's making $100,000 on that account betting $25 at a time? Come on. These Twitter personalities aren't lying about their profits. They're just not telling you the whole story. Now, there's actually a fantastic video that breaks down the entire multi-accounting process. It's from a channel called Green Means Go, and my man does an incredible job of explaining how the entire system works. I'm going to link the video in the description because he explains the topic way better than I can. And if you want to see how deep the rabbit hole goes, definitely check it out. But here's my point. If you're just getting started and you're comparing yourself to those massive profit screenshots that you see on Twitter, you're not getting the full picture. Those results require a level of complexity that 99% of sports bettors can't or won't do. Okay, so now that you understand how the system actually works, you need to ask yourself one critical question. Do you want sports betting to be a side hustle that makes you some extra money, or do you want this to be your full-time career? Because your answer to that question completely changes your strategy. If you're in the side hustle camp and you have a 9-to-5 job and you want to make an extra $500, $1,000, or $2,000 a month, then here's my advice. Treat this like robbing a bank. I'm not kidding. Go in hard, go in fast, make as much money as you can before they shut you down, because the limits are coming. It's not a matter of if, but when. Don't try to fly under the radar. Don't worry about longevity. Maximize every sign-up bonus. Hit every sharp line that you can find and extract as much value as possible before they cut you off. You might get 3 months or 6 months, but make those months count. But if you want to make this your full-time job, and if you want to be a professional sports bettor, then everything changes. Networking becomes everything. Gaining access to fresh accounts is literally your lifeline. You need relationships. You need people that trust you, and you need to understand that this becomes a business operation. You need to either learn modeling or partner with people that make their own models and start to adapt a bottom-up approach. This means you're not betting obvious plus EV plays from Fanatics or Bet365 that scream, I'm sharp. You're betting into markets where everything looks like it's minus 110, but your model's telling you it's minus 150. That's how you add longevity to this game. The pros aren't just betting plays that show up on Discord channels or software alerts. They're finding edges that look like regular betting to the sports books. So which path are you choosing? Because once you decide, your entire approach needs to match that decision. If you want to make this your full-time job, you need to understand what top-down sports betting is. It's the beginning stages of how you're going to become a sharp sports bettor. Click this video right here that's going to walk you through the entire strategy. So by the end of the video, you'll know exactly how to attack these books to start earning consistently.